Well, hey everyone, and welcome back to the cabin. We're going to go down here and work on the sawmill and try to adjust the roller blades a little bit so that it will cut smoother. But first, I've got something I want to show you. Well, I know that you probably have never seen this before, but this is the lawnmower that Jennifer gave me that they used years ago when I started planting grass up here so that I would have something to kind of, keep it mowed. I do need to get maybe a riding mower at some point, so we'll look at that maybe next year. But this looks nothing like it did about a week ago. Jennifer has some friends that watch the channel as well, and the girl that she's friends with, something was mentioned, and she said, well, my dad fixes those. So they came and picked it up about a week ago, and this is what it looks like now when I got it back. Now, I don't have a before and after picture, but let me tell you, it looked well used before, but it looks really clean now, and they have not only tuned it up, but they have replaced parts on here. Let me show you. There's the front of it right there, and they've cleaned it up. From what I understand, they put a new spark plug in it. The side right here was closed off because it did have a mulching, I guess, thing that went over this, or you could actually put the bag on there. So they went ahead and they opened that up, and I don't know where they got this, but they mounted this on there as a way to blow the grass out. That was really, really nice. Now, if you look underneath, do you see that new blade there? That's not the old one. That is a new one. And then take a look at this little piece on the back. That's brand new. But not only that, they cleaned it up and made it look new. And who does stuff like that anymore? I thank God that there's still people out there that are kind, and they wouldn't let us pay them anything. I guess they enjoy the channel and enjoy being friends with Jennifer, and they came up here, like I said, got it, took it, it was gone for a week. Not only did they fix it in proper working order, but they also added these other parts on there that weren't on there. It didn't have to, but they did that, and then, like I said, wouldn't let us pay them anything. So I thank God that there's still folks out there that are like that, and enjoy the channel and enjoy friendship and stuff like that, to do something like that. My brother-in-law had been coming up here every couple of weeks and knocking the grass down for me to keep it at bay, and then my son come up here, put a new string in the weed eater for me, but I've been so busy trying to get that sawmill down there put together, where we could get along with getting this solar in before winter gets here. But yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys on camera so much for doing something like this for us. You don't know it. It means the world to us. It really does. So we certainly do appreciate that. Well, I tell you what, friends, we really like the new sawmill, but I still need to do some adjusting on the blade because every once in a while it wants to take a little bit of a dip. So the Blade Guide rollers, I never did adjust those, if I remember correctly. And according to Wood-Mizer, they're supposed to deflect the blade downward 1/4 of an inch. So what we're going to do is we're going to tension the blade up. Well, we'll take the rollers off, tension the blade up, measure that on each side of the bunk. Then when we put the rollers back in there, we'll try to lower them 1/4 of an inch, tension the blade back up, and then measure each side, and it should be, like I said, 1/4 of an inch down from what we measured previously. Then the other thing is the rollers are not, the blade is not supposed to run straight across the bottom of the roller. The roller is supposed to be cockeyed just a little bit so that on the upstroke it wants to pull the blade up, because if it was level and let's say that you were going through the log and the blade is kind of pushing backwards, if it caught on the side of the downstroke the way that the wheel rolls, it could dislodge your blade and throw it off. So according to the book, you want it cocked like this just a little bit, where on the drive side, one side measures the 1/16 of an inch away from the blade and the other side measures 1/8, and then over here on the opposite side, next to the idle wheel, it's supposed to be 1/8 of an inch. Okay guys, what I did, these are the 2 adjustment screws right here for the deflection, but I had to loosen 2 of these screws to be able to take this out. So I left 2 of them set where I've just got to crank these back down once we get it right, and it will be set just like it was before. So now I can actually pull this out like that. Now I'm going to tension this blade up where it's supposed to be. Which is right there. Alright guys, what I did to get these rollers out, I just loosened up 2 of these. There's 4 of them. I left 2 of them in position so that when I put it back in, I tighten these 2 back up and it will be right where it was to start with. But anyway, what I did was took that out. Then I measured with tension on it. We are 16 to the top of the blade and 16 to the top of the blade. So when I'm going to loosen this back up, put those back in. We want to be 15 3/4 because that will give us a 1/4 inch deflection right here at this point. Alright, now that I've got that done, we'll put this back in there. I'll have to put a little bit of tension back on it to try to see where the tracking is, but I think I'll have it close to being right. Okay, go ahead and get these close to being where they should be. Tighten this back. It's not too hard to do this. It's just this one set screw over here. I actually had to cut an Allen wrench to get it in the corner. When I called Wood-Mizer, they said that they did the same thing. It was a little bit too long right here to get it in over here on this corner. So we've got the blade guide deflection set now. The blade guide arm runs in and out parallel not only with the head but also with the blade. So I think that the next time that we throw a log on here, we will probably see a little bit difference in the cutting that it makes, as well as if I go a little bit faster as far as the chatter mark goes. But every once in a while, like I say, it was wanting to take a dip, and I think maybe it was because we didn't really have any deflection on the blade at all. And there's another thing that I want to talk to you about. Shh, don't tell anybody. But I guess you've heard the rumors going around where Jennifer might be building a house out here. I think that that's going to come to fruition. No, I'm happy about it really, but that's going to take up some of the time that I have been working up here, because there will be a lot of machinery going on down there, and I'm going to have to be down there busting out some logs, especially when they come over here and start clearing out some dirt. So those of you that watch the Outpost channel, you may see a little bit of that going on as well. Let's take a walk down there and I'll show you where she's going to put her new house. Yeah, as we walk down here, I thought that I would tell you that there's a lot of really big trees that are going to have to be removed, and I hate to see them all just go up into a pile. So when they come to start doing the dirt work, as they push the trees down, I'm going to try to cut the root ball off, cut the top out, and grab the logs, set them off to the side somewhere, and then the tops, we can actually burn those, because, you know, as well as you all know, that most of the stuff that I have around here is poplar and pine, and you can burn the poplar, but it burns up really quick. The pine, you don't want to burn that unless it's a campfire, because you can't cook anything over it because of the smoke, and you don't want to burn it in the cabin because of the creosote that it creates on the inside of the pipe can cause a fire possibly. So this is my driveway that goes up the hill, and down here where it goes over into the little hollow is going to become their driveway. Now you all have seen where I got my logs stacked back down at the bottom of the driveway where I had been piling a lot of the slab wood. Well, it got to the point where it was getting quite large, and I have people coming and picking up slab wood, but I needed another area to do that, and I have been dumping some of that slab wood over here. You'll see in a little bit. But there's also some big, huge trees that I thought that I would show you. Right there is a pretty good sized poplar. Goes all the way up. There's a nice cedar tree right there, which is going to have to come out. And right behind that is another poplar that's pretty good size. There's a couple of pine trees right here. This one is kind of crooked when it gets up there to the top, but this one would make you know, some posts or something that they might need. So right behind me you can see another pile of slab wood. This pile right here that's behind me is from when they made the road that actually goes up to the cabin about 5 years ago. So it's been sitting here slowly deteriorating. But what's going to happen is they'll come in, he will clear out everything beyond that, push it down towards the creek, and that will create an area where we can actually move this towards the creek and start to burn it. But I'm going to kind of pan around here and show you some of the large trees that are going to have to come out. Right there is a walnut, and then there's another walnut behind it back there that are probably going to have to come out, as well as there's some standing poplars back there. Right here's a double poplar right there, and then right behind that again is another huge poplar. Right here is another huge poplar that's going to come out, as well as probably that cedar tree back there and this cedar tree right here. That right there is just an old stack of odd pieces of logs that I really couldn't mill up. I was going to use them as posts, but they're getting so bad and rotten I'm probably not going to be able to use those. I do have some equipment down here that I'm going to have to come and move. They're going to be clearing out way behind me back up the hollow here. And then this little small creek right here that you see that only runs when it rains, they're going to redirect that. Because like I said, the driveway is going to be coming down right about there. So they're going to have to move this creek and put a tile in over there. Because on the opposite side, they're going to have their septic system going in over there. I know it's kind of hard to see down here because it is so grown over. But the house is going to be sitting right in here. All right. The driveway is coming in right there. All of this will be gone. So there's quite a few logs that are going to have to come out down here, because I told Jennifer, I said, you know, what they would do is they would just push them down, push them up in a big pile and burn them. But there's no point in wasting those logs. We'll save those for outhouses and things like that they would want to build. And, you know, everybody needs outhouses, right? I'm talking about sheds and small barns and things like that. So that's the reason that I'm going to have to stop what I'm doing up there for at least maybe a week or two, and come down here and separate all the logs from, like I said, the root balls and the tops, so that we can get rid of those and they can get on with their building project. And then when we have saved all of the lumber type material that they would need in order to cut that up. So that's one of the reasons that we bought a new sawmill. Not only, you know, having a lot more projects to do, but also being able to, you know, mill larger logs and things like that, or I mean wider logs and things like that. But yeah, their road is going to come right where I'm walking here. And then my driveway is kind of where you see that sun shining at the bottom. That's where the driveway is. So they'll probably be taking out quite a bit of this to pull that over in this area and kind of fill it up. And I told them to just kind of slope my driveway off. When it's all said and done, we might be able to see from house to cabin. Now, we're going to leave some trees in there. I was just teasing about that. But they're going to get started, I guess, maybe in the next couple of weeks. And see, right here is where the driveway comes down. This is the little road we've been walking on, and then right down there is where I've been piling up a lot of the trees and the slab wood from the sawmill. When you live on a mountain like I do, it's kind of hard to find any flat and level place to put anything. So most of my buildings only touch the ground on one side, and then they're built on stilts, whether it's concrete or wooden stilts on the other side of the building or cabin or whatever it is that I'm working on. But anyway, that's what the plans are. Just thought I would take you down there and show that to you. So now I've got to get busy because I've still got just a little bit more dirt work to do, and I'm going to try to pull a lot of this down at the very end of the workshop here, because we kind of got in mind of building a shed roof, maybe about 12 foot going out the end. That way I can put the sawhorses over there that we built, the little timber frame sawhorses. I can have an area where I can scrape logs and so on and so forth. And I need to kind of level that out so there's a little bit of red clay left that I can pull down there and possibly have enough to get that done. Anyway, friends, thanks so much for stopping by. We certainly do appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.